Hello, I'm Matt Call with Great Basin Team 1. We're on the Camp Creek fire here on Mount Hood National Forest. This is the Bull Run watershed, We're going to talk about what we're doing today. So it's September 1st, and our acreage has changed to 1,896 acres, which went down. We had that change because we had a little bit more accurate fire mapping. So we got an infrared fire flight, and that just changes. So sometimes that flexes. The good thing is we haven't had a huge amount of growth, so we're pretty happy about that. So we're going to talk about what we're doing on the big scale, and then we'll go into the inside and talk about what we're doing on the small scale. So large picture, we have what we call a structure protection group specialist. He's looking at all of the structures and all of the man-made assets that we have, the power lines, all of the homes through here, and the facility in the watershed. And his job has been to provide protection, provide plans in case the fire gets to a point where we need to take action. So he's continuing that process. We feel pretty comfortable where we're at now. We're not going to take any more action as far as doing any more site preparation farther out, but we're going to make sure our plans are really detailed. In this vicinity, we have a contingency group person, and what they're doing today is they're protecting the communications tower here up at Brightwood. There's at least 3 different sites that provide critical communications, cell phone towers, and 911 communication. They're removing brush around those towers so those towers wouldn't be adversely affected if the fire burns in there. That probably have about another day or two. They were slowed down quite a bit by the rain, which we'll talk about, but that should be done in the next few days. So speaking of the rain, yesterday and the day before were pretty wet. Yesterday was really wet. That kind of slowed us down a little bit, so that allowed us to kind of pivot and be flexible. We have a lot of resources, so what we've tried to do is put the resources where we can use them. What we've been trying to do is close some of these gaps in the fire line, and that necessitates a little bit drier weather, so we can put a little bit of fire on the ground and make these green parts red so that we don't have fire jumping those lines. So because we can't do that, we're moving resources out here into these roads. So we have heavy equipment, we have crews, and they're opening these roads up, the 1211, the 12, the 1210. So we have the potential to use those as fire lines if the fire should progress outside. We don't expect it to, but we like to have secondary plans and tertiary plans just in case. Like I talked about yesterday, we like those layers of plans. So all that equipment's moving out here, creating a little bit more buffer for us. We still have hand crews and engines along these roads. Right here, we actually are mopping up, which is a good thing. That's what we want to do. What that means is the fire is pretty much done along this road. So you're going to start to see some containment percentages go up tomorrow, which we're really happy about. So they're mopping that up, and then we're going to continue to bring fire along this just a little bit at a time as it allows so we can close this gap. What we want is we want to make sure that we're controlling the fire where it's unburned so it doesn't get in the trees. If it gets in the trees, it spots over the line, and then that's where we have problems. The same process is happening down here on the 14 road. We're just a few days behind. We have a little bit of fire against the road, but we'll be slowly bringing that fire up closer to that road because that road is protected. It's wide, and we have plumbing on it, we have hose, so we can slow the fire down, we can get the fire on the ground where we want it. There's a little bit of hand line here, so what that is just a hand crew cut a trail through the forest. We have a little piece here where we're going to have to do the same thing we have here, just bring a little bit of fire along slowly because that was the best place to put that fire control break in. Where are we at? Right here we have, where this is black, we have some mixed lines. We have some dozers and some heavy equipment as well as some hand crews. They've removed the fuel, and what's different about this is there's no road. So we found an opportunity because the fire's kind of slowed down. We're actually going direct. So we're right against the fire edge, which is really great. That means we have less acreage consumed by the fire, and we're able to go right up against it. We're probably a couple days out there, so what we'll do is cut that fire line, open the fuels up, and then put some hose in and start putting the fire out. That will continue to this road. You can't see it, but the road continues through this piece of red here, and then we'll do that same shortcut somewhere in here. We're trying to find the best spot. That's going to take a couple of days to find that spot, and then it'll probably take a few more days to put that in. Because we're a few days out and we have need for a lot of heavy equipment, and we're kind of in stages. We have a bunch of bunch of dozers and a bunch of heavy machinery, and it's kind of sitting right here. So you might see that. What that is, we call that staging, and it's just kind of sitting there waiting for when we can launch it and have need for it. Because it's taking 3-4 days to get equipment for fires, we've kind of stacked the deck in our favor. Things slow down a little bit because of the rain. So just because it's not working doesn't mean we're not going to put it to work soon. We just like to have a few more things than we might need, and as soon as we have the opportunity, we'll insert those vehicles and those machines to get that work done. So tomorrow we should have a little bit of black on the map and a little bit of percentage containment. We're really looking forward to that, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.